Back now at 8:11, and this morning the justices of the nation's highest court are on their summer break, but before leaving the Supreme Court chambers, they handed down a number of decisions.
One of the most impactful rulings involved Planned Parenthood. In a 6-3 vote, the court decided to allow South Carolina to defund Planned Parenthood from their Medicaid programs, which would give other states the green light to do so as well.
That's right. 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor is joining us now to look into the potential impact. Whitney, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with the decision itself. Why did the court rule in favor of South Carolina and against Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, well, Medicaid provides services, medical services, to about 72 million Americans. But since 1976, you can't use Medicaid for abortion-related services. And so in 2018, the governor of South Carolina took Planned Parenthood off the Medicaid roster and because they provided abortion services. But there were a lot of people who were using Planned Parenthood for a number of things: cancer screenings, reproductive rights, cholesterol, sort of non-abortion related services. And so notwithstanding, they took Medicaid off of, or they took Planned Parenthood off of the Medicaid roster and so defunded it. So then Planned Parenthood and a couple of patients initiated this lawsuit. And they won. At the lower courts, they won extensively. Then it went to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. They won there. Got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court reversed it. And essentially the court said that this person didn't have standing under the statute. So they said, you can't sue, you don't have a private right of action. So they said, you can't sue for this. So Planned Parenthood is now defunded, and these individual plaintiffs who disagree with this decision have no standing to bring a claim under the federal statute that they initially sued under.
So the plaintiffs claim that this was a violation of a civil rights statute.
Yeah.
How is this a civil rights issue?
Right, so they sued under a statute, 42 U.S.C. 1983. So 1983 is a statute that's used often with police abuse cases, excessive force cases. And the law really says, did they violate a right, and were they acting under color of state law? So it's usually, so that means the police, any kind of law enforcement. And you see this a lot of times in, like I said, police shootings or abuse, excessive force. And so this was the statute that they sued under. But Justice Gorsuch and the court kind of did this, I don't know, this legal maneuvering. It was really kind of complex how they said, well, you don't have standing because Congress didn't specifically say that you have this individual right. And so it was really kind of a convoluted decision, but that's how they ultimately reached the decision. And they sued under 1983. And what Gorsuch is saying is that, hey, well, you can't sue under this statute, but you can go for administrative remedies. If the state is not complying, the feds can stop funding to the state, but these don't give rights to individual plaintiffs. So it really is going to have a broad impact across the nation.
Do you expect other states to follow suit?
Yes, I do think there's going to be, there's about 25 Republican states, red states, if you will. And I think what you're going to see, because they've been trying to attack Medicaid for years, and now there's a real push. And so, and particularly with Planned Parenthood. So I think you're going to see a number of states do the same thing and just simply say, even if you're getting non-abortion related services, we're going to just cut this funding from Medicaid to Planned Parenthood. So yeah, I think you're going to see this in a lot of states.
What do you think will be the practical effect of this decision?
Well, I think the practical effect, I think this is going to affect, for sure, low-income folks, because that's who's eligible for Medicaid, but it's really going to have an impact in the rural areas, because a lot of times people are using Planned Parenthood almost as their primary physician. And so when you don't have a lot of medical services in these rural areas where you have a Planned Parenthood or a service that provides abortion-related services and people go there for just their everyday medical needs, you're going to see those folks really suffer. So I think this is going to really impact the low-income folks in America.
All right, Whitney, we appreciate your insight. Thank you very much.
For sure.
Let's